result in 24, your 25 sales tax revenues are still increasing. Your water and sewer revenues are in line budget-wise by 1% above budget and actually 1% above the prior year as well. So that's pretty much consistent with expectations. Now, your electric sales revenue, budget-wise, we are short about 8% year to date, but again, the hotter months are in your July and August months, which for these are not taken into consideration. But looking at year-to-year numbers from 24 to 25, your electric sales revenue is up almost 1%. So it's still higher than the year before. So we had seen a couple of years of declining amounts, but it's stabilized, and you're still finding the same amount of revenue source to the city from your electric revenues. All right, so overall, the city is doing well. The revenue based on budget and actual and pretty much within a 1 to 2% margin. On the expenditures, we'll look at your payroll expenses for the first 6 months of the year. In the general fund, which includes the city administration, the streets, police, fire, so forth, parks. Overall, you're within a 0.5% budget for the city as a whole in the general fund. Actual payroll is 2.58 million, budget is 2.59 million, so you're about 10,000 ahead of budget. When you look into the details, the police department's at full capacity now. The budget was increased by about 65,000 over the year before, but the actual expenditure is about 135,000 above what it was the year before. So we got about a 10% negative variance in the police department, but it's because we finally got full staff. On the fire department, their revenues are flat for the year compared to the year before. The budget was increased by 40,000. So we have a 40,000 positive variance, which offsets the police department's negative variance. And then you're at a positive variance in the street department and in parks. You're not haven't spent as much money as you had when you look at the budget and to the previous year. They're both down slightly. So that is helping offset the negative variance in the police department. So overall, the city is in line with budget in the general fund total, like I said, by 0.5% above ahead of budget. And the utility fund, overall, you're 5,000 over budget on a $915,000 budget. Actual payroll in the utility fund is 920,000. So 5,000 over budget, which is only 0.5%. So we can take that into consideration with the general fund being ahead of budget. The city, including the utility fund, is within 5,000 positive on the payroll for the year. So it's something to watch. We during the second half of the year, the budget amendments will be occur, but as of right now, you're within the 5% variance in total for the utility fund and the general fund. And then we look at the departmental expenses. In the general fund, you budget 1.15 million in expenditures. It came in at 1.2, about 41,000 above budget, which is 3.6%. Your police department, budget was 1.85 million, actually came in at 2.1, about 250,000, 260 over budget. And that's attributable to health insurance, which is about half, almost a third of that, which is 88,000 over budget. These are some details. Retirement's 44,000 over budget. Insurance liability and was 35,000 over budget. All that relates to now having a full staff, and you have more vehicles, the retirement, and the health insurance. And then juvenile expenses is up 23,000 from the year before, which is over budget. So we'll watch those during the year. But again, you are under budget in the street and parks by about $80,000. So that helps offset some of the overage in the police department. And that means, with that in mind, your overall for the general fund, you're within 4.6% over budget. So it's still below the 5% variance required by the state to maintain. You're 277,000 over budget on a $5.98 million budget. So, and the utility fund, we're actually on a $2.5 million budget. You're just under by 11,000 under budget, or 0.5%. So that's good news there. That's maintained. So overall, sales tax revenues are in line with what we expected. The payroll expenses are in line. We have some variances within different departments, and then again, the expenditures We're about 4.5% over budget, through June, so we'll monitor that as we go into the third quarter. All right?
One thing I see, that I'm looking at, that's 14.5 on the police department, that's over budget, right?
Yes. And that's gonna be health insurance, because they have a full staff now, you're paying more for health insurance in that department, and then for liability insurance, you're insuring more officers.
They're also very high on overtime. Chief, I know you and I have had some conversations in our bi-weekly meetings about that. I know you have a grant, right? Some of your overtime.
Yeah, some of that needs to be reflected that we have revenue.
Yeah.
But
So what Chief and I will do in the next 2 weeks is work on expenses that he's over on and what the proposal, in writing, what his recommendations are to rectify it, as well as Chief, if you can have Heather provide an accounting of the grant so that we can do an offset journal entry of the overtime that's covered by grant revenue. You okay? You need the water?
we got one.
And then we can bring that back up when we legally with the council to make any adjustments.
I have a question, since the police force is full staff now, so that increases the retirement payments also, right?
That's correct.
You just mentioned that.
Yes.
Payments, retirements now up to, I think, 36%.
It's not, we have to come out, just wait. No, I go.
Well, I'd like to ask Mr. Musa, did you say that the police department was fully staffed
Well,
there?
that was my understanding, they may have,
It was for a few weeks.
yeah, I mean, we're much closer to full staff than we had been the last 3 years.
Thank you.
And Chief's gonna give us information tonight about staffing changes.
Yeah, May 2024 with 28 employees, May 2025 with 36. So Chief can give us a better update, but overtime went up, but
All right.
Thanks, Steve, great report.
thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Got to credit the mayor and all the department heads, the rest, everybody for working hard to keep the budget in line. We thank you. Thank you, Steve.
Okay, Chairman, if you want to adjourn that committee and hand it over to Councilman Harding to chair the ordinance committee meeting?
There's no orders. Yeah, sure. All right, for the ordinance committee to consider an ordinance pertaining to part-time firemen. Mayor?
Okay, council, you've heard me discuss this casually at the end of meetings, but it is time for us to talk about it in an ordinance committee meeting, and I'm looking for a recommendation to bring a proposal to full council. This is to create the position of part-time firemen. We basically took the ordinance we have for part-time police and modeled it for part-time firemen to create some additional full-time positions. As you all know, we have many firemen and less now than 2 months ago, but many firemen as well as police officers who are on extended sick leave. They do receive 365-day sick leave. We have trouble filling those positions and bringing in additional people to work. And so my proposal is that we create some part-time fireman positions. They have to be fully qualified firemen to come in and have them pre-qualified so that when we need people to work extra shifts because we're short, we can pull from a part-time department as well as our full-time department. Multiple municipalities have all part-time employees. And that doesn't come with the cost of the retirement and the insurance. This is not about fixing existing employees, but it's about as existing employees retire, how do we be a little smarter about how we do things and start building up support staff in a way that is more affordable for the citizens of Abbeville, as well as helps us have additional support when needed. We all know how many volunteer firemen we have around the parish. I think we could, with the right package put together, we could have a fully supportive part-time fireman staff to support our full-time firemen.
Well,
Second.
Chief, would you like to say anything?
just a minute.
Go ahead.
Me and the mayor have been talking about this for a couple of months now. Right now, we have 3 open spots. I have, one guy that just told me a couple of days ago that his last day will be November 1st. I have one guy that's coming off a sick leave next week, will still leave me 2 on sick leave. And I have two of them leaving, one in January of 26 and one in February of 26.
Retiring chief.
Yes, retired. Used to, they would hang around for 30, 33 years, but now when they hit their 25,
No.
they're gone. So, me and the mayor's been kicking around some ideas. I got some ideas from Broussard Fire Department. We started talking to them, got their rules and regulations of how they operate and what they work. We've been advertising, Christian's been advertising on our website for me. Well, I don't know, 6, 8, 9 months. I got 2 applications right now in that whole time. So it's hard to get people, you know, and they come through the door and the first thing they say is how much you get paid. That's the number one problem.
But they don't look at what is the
Well-
retirement on top of that and everything else when you, it's a full package. It's not just a dollar in your
That's
pocket.
true,
But if you
that's
can't
true.
pay your bills and buy groceries, that's a
Yeah.
problem. But,
That's correct.
or
That's
how
all
many
they look
hours
at.
do you work?
You don't see a retirement for 30 years or 25 years, they see what you food over there. That's what,
Yeah.
you know, and
That's what we're in, and that's kind of what we're strapped with, but it's not mandated, state mandated. No, I'm not talking about just the fire department.
yeah.
It's the same thing in municipal, right?
It's the
You-
same problem
you have-
everywhere. We've been talking about it and it's just,
Yeah,
we got to figure out something. to
People
do.
wanna
We're
be
not gonna
paid
have much of
better,
a fire department left.
you gotta consider all the way it costs them.
We, for the last 2.5 years, we've been working short. On a normal shift, we have 12 people. We've been working as short as 8 people, you know, just to keep the stations open. So it's a problem that just keeps compounding itself.
The Broussard has how many part-time firemen in that department?
I think there's only somewhere around 15 to 20.
Oh, I think their whole staff is more than that with part-time.
That's what Dennis told me.
Okay.
They got a lot
Yeah.
of full-timers
No,
too.
Yeah, so,
The whole staff is probably, they got a big department.
yeah, so you can, there's plenty of part-time firemen out there that could come in and work and support the staff. If we create the position, it just was never created.
I put out a couple of feelers already, have a couple of guys that are interested in. So it's all gonna depend on the parameters and what we do and what we make.
Is there a pay disparity between some, like Broussard and then Abbeville?
Yeah, we don't wanna compare to Broussard.
Okay, Youngsville,
Yeah.
okay.
I'll be straight up honest, Abbeville starts at 28. And some of the paperwork that Charlie has received from different departments, the nearest one to us is 32 or 33
Mhm.
to start.
And what's their health care package?
I don't know whether,
Yeah.
she has it, but
So that all has to be
You have to-
added in.
some of that, the more time you spend in the Abbeville Fire Department, the better you're gonna.
Yeah,
It's just to get to that point.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just don't wanna get to that point. It's like that in every occupation today.
I'd rather put more cash in their pocket, but it would have to come in a cutting of some other expense, right? So,
So we talking about downsizing a little bit, we talking about a bunch of different things to kind of build it out and affect it.
Then downsizing might affect our insurance rate, right?
Well,
We didn't get on another subject.
exactly, but the last insurance reading we did was when we were short-handed. And we still received it too, short-handed. So it won't affect you as much as you think, but it will a little bit. So
all right, thank
that's
you.
the situation we're in.
Y'all have any other questions for Chief? Okay, I have a motion and a second to send this item to, council for consideration, and we will bring some formal language to y'all in more detail at that point. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, I'm sorry, Chairman, you're supposed to be doing all that.
Wanna go with last one? Go with last one.
Yes, sir, because I didn't look at you for number one, do number two.
To consider amending section 17-80, dealers commission pertaining to vendors comp for remittance of sales tax.
Yes, council, this is I was on a call with the parish sales tax collector and all the municipalities and parishes and different entities. As our legislators do, they changed the law. At one point, the vendors compensation, the state mandated that you needed to go down to zero. You couldn't give them, local municipalities couldn't give a vendors comp, anymore. And that everybody needs to amend the ordinance and go to zero. That flew under the radar for us and we never did that. Some of the agencies within the parishes did. Our ordinance still says 2%. On the call we were on, about 2 weeks ago, everybody kind of voiced their opinion, and, we were asked for some figures, and then they came back and gave us those figures. And basically, what the law now states is that you can have the rebate, and it's up to the local municipality to set what that rebate is, and that, our collection agency, the school board, the software is limited, so everybody needs to be at the same rebate level across the parish, right? So what they're asking us to do is come to a consensus. So I stated to them, for those of you who don't know what a vendor's comp is basically it's saying if you owe tax, you owe sales tax as a business to a taxing authority, that if you pay on time, you can take a vendor's compensation, and it used to be 2%, basically saying, if you pay your sales tax on the sales tax you owe the city of Idaho, if you pay it on time, that you can keep 2% in your pocket as a local business owner. We all know our local businesses are hurting. We all know that insurance is killing them. And so what I said to the group is that since our ordinance currently says 2%, that it is, I believe, in the parish's best interest to have everyone go to 2% and keep the 2% rebate for vendors' comp. I have not heard back from the rest of the taxing authorities to see. I wanted to make you aware of this discussion we're having. We may or may not need to change our ordinance depending on what the rest of the majority of the taxing districts say. And I did verbally tell them that I would be amendable to what the consensus wants, but under no circumstance would I vote in favor of going to 0, because I think that you should keep it at 2, but it's going to be up to everybody to decide that. So we will be, I think right now we probably could table this for it because we don't know if we need to amend. We put this on here thinking we needed to amend it for this meeting, but they haven't responded with the percentage rate that the whole parish is looking at. So I'm going to pause for a second, let anybody ask any questions, and we'll just close the hearing. We won't actually take any motion to bring it to committee. Anybody have any questions on that? It's clear as mud, right? All right. So I think that's it. We don't need any action. Thank you.